Welcome back everybody to another episode of Ace Attorney. I finally fixed my charger. Alright, let's do this shit. Okay, so we're at the trial. Adrian did it. Oh, Adrian's the killer? That's what it looks like. God damn. Okay, so Adrian Andrews was the one. I guess it makes sense actually. She wanted to, what do you call it? I mean, she sounded kind of sincere when she said she wouldn't kill him for that, but let's be honest, if she was going through that much trauma, I think even she would have done it. So yeah, would they really give the answer this quick? I don't know. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. Guys, this is going to be the final time I'm experimenting with the mouse cursor. Again, I prefer keyboard and mouse, so this is the last time I'm using the mouse cursor to try and play this game. This is the last time I'm going to try the mouse cursor way. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence. I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. Yeah, I know, you even just looking at you, you couldn't fucking kill a fly, bro. The fly would kill you first. No offense, but I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia, you must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on my situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. Oh, hell no. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya. She's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, oh no. She seemed a little bit, how shall we say, tired. Bro, are you dating her at least? Don't worry, people don't die that easily, bro. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. God damn it, bro. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? Bro, I don't want shit from you. You'll find out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win today's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer dude, who is that? I'm sorry if my fan is a bit loud in the back. No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Who am I, Pinocchio? Fuck out of my face, bro. Where the hell's Von Karma? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Matt Engard. Are the prosecutor and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Bro, how's Von Karma getting laid right now? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? She's probably crying because I destroyed her in every single trial. Nothing personal. I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot... What? This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gun. Was that the present? Oh no, not... Bro, I actually liked Franziska Von Karma. What? Even the judge. Shot? Oh hell no. Somehow. I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. Let me turn my microphone down. I turned my microphone down. Sorry if it was a little too loud before, but here we go. If she were to disappear, it would be your advantage. Bro, this is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable oh, thank God. That's good. Whew. I thought he'd show up. Oh, Edgeworth! I love my Edgeworth, bro. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. Bro, Edgeworth is like my favorite character in this game. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. Ah, how I missed you, Edgy. The prosecution is ready, naturally. My rival himself, Mr. Red. Mr. Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder. Oh, how ironic. Wasn't, what do you call it? Manfred Von Karma also shot in his right shoulder? Yeah, it was his right? And it's currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I've looked at the case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Engard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. There he is, Gummy boy. Witness, your name and occupation. My name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the present, for now. For now. After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, hell no. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Here we go. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe that he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Alright, that's already a lie, because... not a lie, but false, because it was wet. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Here we go. Let's do this shit. Don't worry, this is easy. I already know which one it is. Murder happened after the Heroes. The evidence clearly... Oh my god, are you serious? Okay, don't make accusations randomly. Fine, let's do this properly. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Okay, let's not do stupid shit like that. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrienne Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrienne Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Engarde's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Engarde. Bro, this is why I love the judge. After visiting his room, she went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. The cause of death? Wasn't that because of Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good look. Hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here. To his bandana. Bandana? His bandana, sir. Oh, did he say banana? That's the thing wrapped around tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, so he was killed. I see, his banana-scented bandana. Do we have the autopsy? We don't have the autopsy? Then, what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murder on our hands here. So he was strangled. Alright. There's the autopsy. I used to call it an autopsy, that's obviously wrong. Now why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Gemma Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Alright, I just had some noodles and I got myself a glass of rub, so let's keep going. Oh, then how about this theory? Oh, judge theorizing? A fan really wanted the guitar into the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case was the victim's. Only the victim's? I see. Ah, so much for my theory then. Well, it would have been nice if I had that info before so I didn't accidentally object this shit. What convinced you that it has nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at a TV studio. The victim, Julian Corridon, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So the guitar case was empty before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with the bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe. Please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt Engard and Julian Corridon were huge rivals with each other. They each thought of the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Gem and Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama. Alright, I'm back. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes up for the premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came off pretty clear, sir. And there's this button that was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that from the blood on the victim's... We know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All of these points very clearly... All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I found a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up and with your usual pointless questions. Alright, let's do this shit. Let's fucking do this shit. Don't worry, this is easy. Just watch. Huge rivals. Let me just... But in terms of popularity, Mr. Engard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Julian Corridon was always one step behind Mr. Engard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corridon lost to Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Engard was beating Mr. Corridon in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective, it's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Of course, Edgeworth's in full swing again. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? Yeah. This isn't really helping much, is it? Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of Gemma Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. Yep. Greatest prosecutor. Where was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Carter, and then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it up normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony? Right. The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So, is the defendant the owner of this knife then? There is no way that this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully, before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with Engart's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? So it's this one, then. Defendant, which makes this a premeditated murder. Oh. Fingerprints were all over the knife. Let's see the evidence. Gate water. Gate water. Okay, obviously, these right here are probably not related. It has to be something to do with this or this. No, I didn't mean to. Okay, okay, let's just go for it then. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument is that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. I think it's brought a knife. Bought is actually bought is actually what you say after you buy something. So that's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. So he. Okay. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a gate water seal set into the handle. Gate water. I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. So it was not bought. The murder weapon was actually a property of the hotel, which means that this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? Of course, it's Edgeworth. I forgot about this dude. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not that has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this. But I didn't... Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? And where did this knife go? And who was Cotton Eye Joe? Well, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Carter's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered, with that being the case. I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on the top of the table. There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Engard. Especially what was on the top of his table. The knife's missing, yeah. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. Oh shit. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Engard's knife was missing. Mr. Engard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your time, Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown. He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer this with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Do I? Confess something. Well, I couldn't have. I have bro, I have like almost nothing left in my bar. Actually, I do. I don't know. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that the court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Oh my god, that's my entire bar. Oh no. You may present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? Maybe not this. Not that. Not that. Not that. Is it one of these? It might be one of these. You know, it might be one of them. Not that, probably. That thing? Wait, no, we have an evidence of that somewhere. Where is it? There. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photograph of the crime scene one more time. This scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, the glass that is sitting on top of this dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that's not fallen over with everything else is the wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Ah, well, yes. It is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place, by the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? What if she's the killer? There's no way, right? If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct with proper certainty. They just might fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Oh my god, of course, he's Edgeworth. You're not thinking hard enough today, Mr. Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then? Of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? Oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Mrs. Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corridor. But we have to do this for Maya, come on. And we have to do this for Engard. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor, and from here on out, I will show you the answers I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness who we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh my god. Winberg! Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. I bet as soon as she gets that helmet off, she's just gonna fucking sim for Edgeworth and shit. Just watch. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Oh my god. Gotcha. I wonder what happened to the calm composure he had earlier. Oh, edgy boy, it's been what? A year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet it was the wicked witch of the witness stand. I'll tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with the terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know. Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Edgy Wedgie, bro. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, ma'am. No. Please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. It's true when they say that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind it at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Bro, this is what is that? What the hell is that? Is there a goddamn chainsaw going in the, what do you call it? In the neighbor's yard. Bro, I'm trying to play Phoenix right here. Okay, I turned my microphone even lower because I felt like it might have been too loud, so I'm sorry if, what do you call it, it's like too quiet or anything, but I guess this is how we're playing now. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Jewin. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean, you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that Engard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something, but not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Jewin Corridor. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of the room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Alright, here we go. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway of in the front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Jewin's room. It was Engard, Matt Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Jewin's room. Okay. So Mr. Engard came out of the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okie dokie. Anyway, after the ceremony, yes, shut up. Miss Oldbag, what is your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for the Triflings show, but I refused to help. I'll have you know, it was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing that the show didn't go on. Besides, the manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you were interested in. And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Jewin. And Edgy Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is the thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip. But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to our testimony later. Oh, you're talking about this thing? What is it? This thing? This thing, alright. Well, that might be important for later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corridor's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I can count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Jewin's room. He was, yes, he was? I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisco's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyways. Yep, Matt Engard. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, see. Really? And only Brad, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Okay. Oh, I remember this. The person's face, the person was carrying the person's clothes. The person's clothes. Was it the Nickel Samurai? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, what this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Was it important? I guess not. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. You've wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. That's more than valuable than gold to me. Your youth? Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of her childish whining? She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She stayed on to a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Hold on. Let's okay. What was the person carrying? The person's face. Fine. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and the effeminate lips. His right eye covered by silky hair, sparkling, shining teeth. His teeth were shining. Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup. Why do you? I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? And God's face is the same no matter what it is, you know. You whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, was his testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Was it? I don't know. We don't know how he looked right now, so it was not very important, I guess. Of course it was important, Your Honor. I didn't mean to click that. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important. I didn't mean to click that. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time, yes? I think I just... Okay, wait. Okay, I think I know which one it is. What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or his left? No, this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? Ah, he wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a whole lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright, what was this testimony important or relevant in any way? It was not important, I guess. Okay, let's just say it was very. Okay, never mind. Then perhaps you would like to point. Okay, whatever. Alright, this again, I guess. The person's face, the person's clothes. The person's clothes. Okay, so we already clicked this, but this time I'm going to say this is important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Oh my! Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Oh, what? This was the correct one. Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must... Do you see any blood on it? Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She is so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She might not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. Yeah. Nothing interesting about that. Maybe the button? Alright, let's go. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Ah, it's button number 2 on the Gem and Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Whatever. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to on a blood-covered button. This button was covered in Mr. Engard's body during a full body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was that rascal Engard. It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai Hakama pants. See? See? Engard is the nickel samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Engard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, oh my god. Okay, I think we understand. Now hold your tongue there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Engard, the man, but Mr. Engard, the nickel samurai? Well, when you think about it, oh my god, this case is really familiar all of a sudden. They're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important to and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Oh my god, again. Engard. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai. That's right, it was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go that post-ceremony stage after the crime, you know? So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juin. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Do you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Youngings today, I told you there is no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful as a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay, whatever. And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there was still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out all the more. You are such an annoying child, you know that? You disgrace with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear in the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in the friendly gesturing thing. And that included the Gem and Ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when Engard came out to dear Juin's room, I didn't give a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. Wait, what the hell? Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what the contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Alright, let's do this shit. Wait. No, I don't know. So... Would you please get on with your testimony? What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you shouldn't forgive me for everything. If you keep barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. Oh, please don't. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the nickel samurai. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts. Okay. You promise, right? Right. I'll be sending you the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Okay. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing, and that included the Gemin ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when Engard came out of Dear June's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway... So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. Okay. Sitting in plain sight. Let's now remember. Sitting in plain sight. How much of the bar is it going to use? Bro, come on. Oh my god, I'm on my last one already. Bro, how exactly is he even gonna hold a knife in that thing? Look at the hands, bro. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Yeah, the defendant's fingerprints are on it. The fingerprints are on it. How exactly would the fingerprints be on it? Is that what you're driving at? This is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? Well, even in a car, the fingerprints wouldn't be there. Well, you wouldn't be able to hold a knife with a car, but if Mr. Engard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, the fingerprints wouldn't be there. Then it's impossible for the fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all the previous fingerprints on the knife right off. Yep. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in the costume as the Nickel Samurai. At the time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show, which is why he took the gloves off. But the murder is still to take place. It's well known that there was a bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I've heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Think about it one more time. He had no intention of killing him. There's a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for the argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Engard wasn't the killer if that's the case. I'm going to save because I only have one thing. I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. The knife, right? This knife. This was used by Mr. Engard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought the knife with him to visit Mr. Corda, I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory is flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. The knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To hide the murder method, to frame Matt Engard. It's to frame my client, Mr. Engard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on the knife. Witness! Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult. Huh? Edgy poo? Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Engard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting... Yeah, it's gonna keep going. Oh, never mind. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juin Carda, am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are just a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So old bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Carda. Maybe. Phoenix, maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia is hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Let me save! No. The victim's room. Obviously not Maya, not Pearl, not Gumshoe, not you, not you, not you. No, not you, not you. Yeah, not you. not Jewin, apparently. Obviously not the Steel Samurai. And not you. So you! Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Engard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is, I see. The judge seems to be really into this article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can't throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I've got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about the secret information. Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you youngins. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Okay, here we go. That Engar is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor June by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager in to get close with June. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash the rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright. But we told her we wouldn't tell anyone. You may begin your cross-examine. You may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right. Engard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. All right, here we go. Here we go. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Jewin. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. But the name of the magazine came from this gossip land. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% the truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Engard will never get me to say touche. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I don't know that much. Well, that Engard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. You don't have any proof that Mr. Engard did such a thing. You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything, right? You're right. I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me the proof that Engard didn't bear any ill will towards June? Present evidence. Do I have the evidence? I don't actually have any evidence. I don't have anything to offer. See, just as I thought. And you were lecturing me without saying about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles for you, anyway. So, what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of June's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her eat that damaging beam of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop. Well, it was too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet? If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh, well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got the secret information, you won't go home today. Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did old bat get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something that can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find out, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Hold up. Just because I don't trust myself. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. I didn't trust myself. This is why I didn't trust myself. God damn it. Why do I do this? Don't worry, and we're back in the game again. How about we present some evidence so no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? Oh, Lotta Hart does. If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. Lotta Hart also knows that, right? She tried to get the scoop of it. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? This or this? Oh. The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On the piece of paper, she had written down some sort of outrageous impression about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of June's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper, she's working with that evil Engard. She said so herself, Engard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No, let's forgive her. Let's be a good person. I guess we should forgive her. Who the heck are you to decide who should be forgiven? You delinquent? Number of endearing qualities 0. Phoenix, you can't go easy on her. She's no frail old lady. Yeah, you should be pressing her until she gives in. Okay, never mind. Mia is really scared today. It's because her sister got kidnapped. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was the note. Is that correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that note is the only thing you stole that night. Yeah, she also stole this. Miss Oldbag, that note was with the camera inside its case, wasn't it? She also stole the camera. A camera. Yesterday, Lotta Hard was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why, witness? What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you. I still fall in love. I can tell. Edgy. And borrow things from people. That's not borrowing. I think your definition of borrowing is a little... I saw the woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check out this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Oh shit. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant in this case. Please present it to the court. Oh, this is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Well, what does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still inside his Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. Are we sure? How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Finally, final comments, Mr. Wright? This court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's is there anything weird with it, about it? Can I see it without this? I'm trying to look at the differences. Sure. There's something really strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at this photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Okay, save. I think I know what it is. When the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Well, you see, I mean, like, the feet aren't showing. That's kind of weird. That would mean that the person in the suit is, what do you call it, slightly, shorter? I guess so. I'd like you to direct the court's attention to this one area here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does this mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Engard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you could care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Yep, the things are showing the feet. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in the photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside the costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? What then? I haven't damaged his case at all? I mean, they have piles of evidence, right? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in the photograph is not Matt Engard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. Bro, Edgeworth has just got them triple dots, though. If I figured it would come to this... What? Right. I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that person inside the costume is not Matt Engard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Adrian Andrews. Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah. Why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in the photograph? Let me save at least. Okay, whatever. I know who it is. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as the murder weapon? Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. Okay. Just quickly save. The defense moves to indicate that Mr. Adrian Andrews is in the murder of Jew in corridor. It was Mr. Andrews that tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Yep. Show yourself, Miss Andrews. Order, order, order. It looks like this trial has had a most unexpected development, haven't all? Mr. Edgeworth, Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day. No, Maya. We need to save Maya. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. I have to keep, raising objections. Come on now. Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue this trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she's not. Hold it! I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimated me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to supponing Miss Adrian Andrews is all. Happening according to plan, even if Wright is a bit slow to catch on. What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She's the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by this man. Somehow, I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Bro, Edgeworth, indirectly just saved Maya. Let's go, Edgeworth. That's why I love you, bro. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Woo! To be continued, though. I hate using the mouse cursor so much. You know what? I don't even care. That was the final experiment. I'm never using the mouse cursor again. In fact, I'm turning it off right now. Yes. Okay, so this is starting to get crazy. Okay, I'm enjoying this so far. Alright, this is taking a dark turn and I like where this is going. So I'm going to stop right there. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and bye for now.